Good morning, YouTube. My name is Amy's Bro, and how are we all doing today? Okay, before we get to the actual meat of the video, I need to do 2 points of order, and then we will get on with the actual video. First one, if you like covers of anime openings, might I interest you in the one for Beat Project Kodo Ambitious? Well, somebody that I know, who I know as Clown Type Idol, on an alternate account, uploaded a cover of Beat Project's Kodo Ambitious, and it is an earworm. I strongly recommend, if you have Tumblr, or even if you're not, to give this a listen. I will put a link in the description to the post, the original post, and you can all check it out for yourself. Please, please, please check it out, because it's actually one of the best covers of anime openings I have ever heard. That's just, you know, a fact. Second point of order, and actually this should have been first, but what the hell. I made a boo-boo yesterday when I made my video about the male fandom with UtaPri. Not that it doesn't exist, because it does. It was more who had what greeting for them at the 5th live. So, Ren, Genuje Suave, refers to them as ladies and gentlemen, not princes and princesses. That belongs to Kosuke Toriumi, Cecil Ojima's VA. And that was his greeting for them. And then, of course, the one I did get right was Shotaro Murakubo calls them my girls and my boys. And I still think that's actually one of the coolest things ever. And I think we really need to appreciate and be thankful for what is going on with the UtaPri fandom, because in my opinion it's possibly, especially in a Tomei fandom, a once in a lifetime, once in a generation moment. I'm just being honest. That's my still opinion, but we'll see how it works out as time goes on with UtaPri. Now, let's get to the actual part of the video where we talk about something I promised you we would talk about last night, which is Crunchyroll and Funimation have formed a partnership. But how do we feel about this? Confused is the best way I can answer this. And I mean this as polite as possible. Like, okay, so what I've got out of everything that I read, and from what people that I have talked to on Twitter have told me, is Funimation is going to get any dub that is currently on Crunchyroll. The subtitled animes from Funimation are going to go over to Crunchyroll. So basically, they're swapping formats as far as who's getting what. That's what I understand. I also have heard, and I've also read this I understand clearly. They're going to keep using their own video players. So here's a brilliant thing for anybody who's wanting to watch D. Gray Man, Hollow. You don't have to worry about watching it on the Funimation video player, which has a tendency to not work. I've actually had that issue on more than one occasion with Funimation. So that's a good thing, and we can actually be thankful for that. Also, Crunchyroll will still do their own home video releases, but the distribution rights are going to go over to Funimation. So How that's going to play out, I don't know yet, but it should be interesting. So we're going to get some animes coming from Funimation, from Crunchyroll via Funimation. This is interesting. I don't know if this means that that Funimation is going to dub them first, or if they're just going to release them as is, if it's a subtitled anime. But it's going to be interesting. Here's something else that's going to be interesting, and I've thought about this actually, and I think a lot of people have. So, UtaPri, which is a Prince-sama. For the first 3 seasons, and yes, there still is the 3rd season released to come out for the North American audience, the 3rd season belongs property of Sentai Filmworks. Okay. Season 4 is to come out. So, here would be a question that I think is right now more within everybody's right to think about. Could Funimation attempt to do a dub of Season 4? Is that part of the agreement, that they would attempt to dub an anime that is in the current releases? Right now it's not in the list, but could they in the future say to Crunchyroll, can we try to dub this? Now, how that would work, apparently from what somebody explained to me, the non-singing parts would be dubbed, but everything else would still be subtitled. That still confuses the hell out of me how that works, but okay. Let's assume that happens. Let's assume that Funimation were to dub Season 4. Here's the question then I would have to ask. What would be their next attempt? Would they attempt to subtitle, at the very least, the stages 1 to 5? Like, could they get on the phone with Broccoli and King Records and Company and say, yes, hi, we'd like to be able to bring over the stage shows to the North American audience. Would you give us permission to sub them? Because literally, if there's one thing that has really kept me from buying the lives so far, it's that they're so expensive to get. Like, I understand that importing DVDs isn't exactly easy anyway, but golly, have you ever seen how much they cost? Damn. At least if Funimation subbed them, and then they got, say they get distributed through Amazon, they would probably cost at most, I'm thinking $30, 30, maybe 40. Maybe 50 if they do some type of limited edition thing. But I could see in the future Funimation saying, hey, Crunchy, you guys got this property that you put on your stream site that's insanely popular called UtaPri. Would you mind if we, got a hold of, the people behind the show and said, hey, yeah, can we do a subtitled version of the stage shows for North America? Because I can completely see that happening. But it's all up to a lot of things, because technically speaking, still, here's what's weird. I don't even know who technically the licensor is for North America at this point. Right now, it's Sentai, I think. This whole thing has just gotten really interesting as far as what shows are going to be, distributed by Funimation now, and what shows are going to be put on the Crunchyroll site. I would love, like I said, to see Brothers Conflict put on there. I think if they're going to put older shows on there, older subbed versions, yeah, I would like to see Brothers Conflict, the Dance with Devils sub, because I actually want to see that. I would like to see, let me think, what's another one I would like to see? Tokyo Ravens? I think they have the rights to Sam Flam, don't they? I would like to see that. I may be thinking about somebody else in that case, but Samurai Flamenco, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know what that is. But there's a couple different shows that I would like to see them give to Crunchyroll, because there's either shows that I have seen, like Brothers Conflict, I love that show, or there's other shows that I haven't seen yet and probably wouldn't because of the video player issue. But here's an interesting question now that I'm thinking about. Since Funimation recently licensed the second half of D-Gray-man, the original D-Gray-man, not Hollow, would they turn around and give Crunchyroll the sub versions? Obviously not the dubbed, but would they give them the subbed versions of all 103 episodes of the original version, and then obviously they're broadcasting the new one? There's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of facets that I want to really, really look at and examine as far as current shows that are airing, shows that Funimation has in their catalog, because this is going to be, when it's all said and done, one of the most unique partnerships in anime streaming, because Hulu has pretty much told fans, we're coming back on our anime, and you gotta pay to watch it now. Daisuke, Daisuke, you can watch, I think, for free you can watch, I think, certain shows, but for some shows you have to pay for them now. Crunchyroll, they will let you watch new episodes of, whatever the current episode for this week would be of a show, but you have to wait a week because of whatever, unless you're a premium member. But it's going to be interesting to see how the general anime consumer base is going to look at this agreement, and if they're going to embrace it or if they're going to revolt. Because if this is a long-term thing, right now I think it's at least till the end of the fall season. If this is a long-term thing for the anime industry, this merger, or this partnership, I slipped, I said it's not, because it's not a merger, it's a partnership. This could be one of the most interesting and one of the most powerful relationships, we'll call it, when it is all said and done. The question that I have to ask you is, are you going to use Funimation now or Crunchyroll any more or less than you already do? And will this prevent you from using alternative means for watching your anime? As far as I go, I don't know how it's going to affect me yet. I really don't. For 2017, especially. I don't know how it's going to affect me. I would like to tell you in good conscience that it's not going to affect me positively or negatively. But I can't answer that. Because I don't know what it's going to do for me yet. I have started using Crunchyroll a bit more when I'm watching the older seasons of UtaPri leading up to season 4, which starts at the end of, that starts at the beginning of October. But I don't know if this partnership is going to really make me want to watch Crunchyroll more than whatever I use. You know what I'm saying? It's a really interesting situation that we're going through now. And I don't know how to feel about it, in all honesty. And I think that's why I was sitting on this video, because it can do a lot of good for people to put all their subbed and dubs under basically one umbrella for as long as the agreement goes on. But it could also be a tricky one, because you have other sites, like say Daisuki, and you may have other anime creators going, we don't want to deal with these two. We'll go over here and we'll give them our series, and we won't give them the Crunchyroll or Funimation. That can happen too. And then what? It's a real tricky, sketchy situation here right now. Not only sketchy as in bad, I mean sketchy as in it's a wait and see. We have to see how this season plays out in October, because there's a lot of ins and outs and a lot of facets we still have to go through. Anyway, you all take care. Let me know what you think about this, and because I'm interested to hear what you guys say. Y'all take care, my friends. Later.